from the throne. Emperors decree that it be known. From distant lands to heart of the realm, Emperor news at the helm. Knights on their steeds ride day and night.
Good evening, lords, ladies, and warlords. I'm Uruwao, your host of Emperor News, the only broadcast where famine, betrayal, and city-building spreadsheets collide in glorious medieval chaos. Now let's talk about some interesting news. Some of you majestic lords just spent 35 action points on marriage. 35. That's not a wedding. That's a full-scale annexation, a political noose. I mean, in medieval terms, marriage isn't about love. It's about locking down heirs before your enemies lock down your borders. You know it's serious when the ceremonies cost more AP, that's action points by the way, than it does to conquer a city. Somewhere in the vows was probably a clause like, I promise to love, honor, and never raise taxes without consent. And don't get me started on that one player who thought of spending 5 action points relocating citizens from their plague-ridden city. That's right, they're trying to turn public health into a logistic problem. Welcome to a majestic city, where the economy's booming and the fever is airborne. Planning to export disease like it's trade goods. My favorite kind of chaos. And speaking of trade, the LB, that's large bronze. The reports say that it has officially overtaken goats as the most stable economy in the realm. Congratulations to everyone for minting a coin that doesn't smell like livestock. Another interesting news, delayed actions seem to be all the rage this season. Everyone's thinking of doing it. If I'm attacked, I'll hire 15,000 archers. If my wife leaves me, I'll spend 5 action points crying in the temple. Folks, if you're spending action points on heartbreak, you're losing the war. Once again, thank you for joining us. The news begin after this quick break. This episode of Emperor News is brought to you by Rocks. Rocks. You can't have just one.
Hear ye news from the throne. Emperors decree that it be known. From distant lands to heart of the realm, Emperor news at the helm. Knights on their steeds ride day and night.
Lords and ladies, scribes and scoundrels, welcome back. Gather you round. Once again, I'm Uruwao, your herald of chaos and harmony, bring you the latest from Emperor News. Out of Europe, a miracle of unity, the once fractured land of Flanders has been bound under a single banner. The noble lord known as France has declared himself King of Flanders. And lo, the people rejoice. Stability returns to the realm, and the taverns overflow with songs of coronation. And now to darker tidings. Lord Edward of England, ever the ambitious stallion, unleashed horse explorers in all directions, swift, relentless, and utterly rude. These riders clashed with ground scouts from Orkney, Meath, Connaught, and France, and dispatched them with brutal efficiency. Such aggression could not stand. The lords of Orkney, Meath, Connaught, and France have declared war on Edward the First. The fields shall burn, the horns shall sound, and Edward might find his crown heavier than he hoped. Word is, Edward's map now has more blood than ink. Meanwhile, in a tale of mirrored ambition, Akana Lord tried Edward's tactics, only to slay Myth's ground explorers. Donald MacCochab of Myth was not amused. War has been declared. The lesson? Don't copy your neighbor's homework when it involves horses and homicide. Out of Asia, Naya of Sinas rides the winds of expansion. Horse explorers were sent to chart the lands, but upon meeting Tibetan foot scouts, they chose violence over diplomacy. The Tibetan Lord has declared war in response. The mountains rumble. The spirits stir, and Naya may soon learn that conquest is easier drawn than won. In love and news, spring fever has struck. Love blossoms across the realm as rulers wed left and right. Cupid's quiver is empty, and the scribes are exhausted from writing marriage contracts. We suspect foul play or divine matchmaking. And now, tips with Uruwa. Listen well, fledgling rulers. Character death rolls begin at 30. That's age 30 for men, 32 for women. The Reaper waits not. Civic rates activate in week 3. Neglect them and you'll face fires, disease, crime, and revolts. Diseases can spread across cities and nations. They ignore age rolls. They are chaos incarnate. Keep your cities clean, your healers paid, and your rats well fed, or they'll feed on you. And now the scrolls of glory. Who rules the realm in numbers? Let's look at the rankings. The overall top 5 are as follow. Derek M with 122 points. Francis M with 107 points. Chad B with 106 points. Chris L with 106 points. And Matthew B with 96 points. The Economy Masterminds top 3 are Timmy with 53 points. Chris L with 52 points. Matt S with 43. The Social top 3 are Derek M with 102. Chad B with 69. And Austin L with 39. Diplomatic are Francis C with a 9, Jonas with a 5, and Sarah L with a 5. The War Strategists are Amy with a 6, Eric D with a 5, and Francis C with a 4. And in regards to territory and population, we have Francis M with 42, Dawn with 32, and Eric G with 26. And that's all for this moon's Realm Watch of Emperor News. May your horses be swift, your marriage is fruitful, and so the realm turns. Love is war, war is trade, and trade, apparently, trade is contagious. I am Uruwa, and I'll see you next time.
By sword and quill, the truth we uphold, in parchment, scrolls, and legends bold. The heralds sing, the trumpets blare, Emperor news is everywhere. By sword and quill, the truth we uphold, in parchment, scrolls, and legends bold. The heralds sing, the trumpets blare, Emperor news is everywhere.